Gobert is going to be a Hall of Famer. It is a 99.8% chance he is going to be a Hall of Famer.
If you have a guy like Jonathan Kuminga, how do you not embrace him and wrap your arms around this young man?
When the average age of your team is closer to receiving their pension than they are being drafted, it's not a good sign.
I just want to announce to everyone that Richard sits down and he's here before everyone today, and he's so proud of his new setup and he's so excited to get things rolling. And yet when the red button comes on, that red light comes on, he's not even in the screen.
Hey, everyone. No, I just had look, there's a lot of moving pieces here. There's a lot of moving pieces. We're getting the set up, right? We're getting things cleaned up. We got Soho. God, again, shows you. We have Soho Sixer coming up here. We have Soho Sixer coming up here soon. Then we have, the studio being built, so we got the Road Trippin studio being built and finalized. So we got a lot of moving pieces here. So there's still
you just don't have the one piece in place.
Hence, that's the hardest piece.
However, our guy Kendrick Perkins can get on an airplane. His wife makes sure everything is clean and spotless for him. Shout out, Van. I am so in alignment with her about things being clean and why people
Van. What's up, bro?
About it. And he gets all the way to Anaheim. You're crazy, Richard. He gets all the way to Anaheim, and he's ready to go. But Rich cannot be ready to go.
Wait. You're in Anaheim?
Yeah.
You're in Anaheim?
Stone has a basketball tournament out here for the weekend. Yeah, I did.
I got to read the text chain. I got to catch up. What time is the game? I want to come watch Stone.
So they play at 5 and 7 today, 1 o'clock tomorrow, and then I don't know the rest of the schedule. That's the pool play. Then bracket play starts. So it's like 5 to 7, 5 to 7, and tonight, and then 1 tomorrow. We play Rondo and them tomorrow. So it's Lil Rondo versus Lil Perk. 1 o'clock tomorrow. So it's Lil Rondo versus Lil
That
Perk.
1 o'clock? That's 1 o'clock?
Yeah. Yeah.
Richard, I have an idea. I think you and I should wear our Road Trippin t-shirts.
I gotta talk to the boys. I might want to see if the boys want to go. I can't. They've been in camp all week, so I can't veto their first Saturday. Right? I got to be like, hey, what y'all want to do? Here are the options. I think this would be dope.
It's cool, but look, you're not really missing anything but a lot of loud parents, a lot of commotion.
Yeah, but it's just no. Watching go.
And coach, I'm coaching. By the way. Yes.
Oh my God.
So I am coaching.
Oh, we're going. I will be going at least. Put me on the pass list. Put me on will call. I'll be first in line.
There's not will call. You got to pay the $49.99 for the day pass. You got.
Whatever, we're swiping the Road Trippin card. Here we are. Welcome to this edition of Road Trippin. Allie Clifton, Kendrick Perkins, Richard Jefferson, Channing Frye is on vacation, completely off the grid. But before we dive in, I do want to send out a huge congratulations to Channing as he announced on his socials in alignment with Arizona that he was inducted into the Arizona Hall of Fame, which is a big deal.
What took so long?
Say it again.
I said, what took so long?
Well, they had to see if averaging 9 points and 6 rebounds actually qualify to get you in the Hall of Fame.
Aww.
Oh man,
That's
for real.
no.
Shout out to Shannon though. Shannon, you know what I'm saying, did his thing in Arizona. Real talk, he did his thing in Arizona going into the Hall of Fame.
Look at it.
Anytime you go into the Hall of Fame of anything is a major accomplishment. Going into the Hall of Fame, that's something for your children, right? Like his children always could pull up to Arizona and their dad is going to be on the wall. Their dad jersey is going to be in the Raptors. Like, he's a Hall of Famer. That's legendary. Shout out to Channing. And then, I wonder how many bottles of wine he drunk.
Yeah. And then they get to go outside and see Uncle Rich's name on the gym. But no, seriously, congrats, Channing.
You're such a dick.
I got to give the shot before I give him his flowers. I got to give him a shot before I give it. Any basketball player on the planet, you say, You're going to win state player of the year. You're going to win a state championship. You're going to be an All-American in college. You're going to be a lottery pick. You're going to play 10 plus years, and you are going to win an NBA championship. That is, if we're just talking about the base things for what it means to have a great basketball career start to finish. Like, there's ups and downs and everybody's in this, but to reel off those things and say you could look back on your career, won a state championship, won a state player of the year, was an All-American, was a lottery pick, won a championship, and played 10 plus. And the fact that you got to call your retirement, that's everybody signs up for that. You ask any 15-year-old, they all sign up for that, period. So congratulations to Channing. He had an amazing basketball career, start to finish, man. It was impressive.
And no matter what Channing tells you all, he did get emotional when Rich and I'm going to say this because he won't let it out, but when Rich and I flew up there for 6 hours to come together as a road tripping unit, he got the call. He thought he was doing something for his wine, thought he was doing something for his wine, got on the phone. I was sitting at the kitchen counter with his wife. Rich was sleeping.
Oh,
you didn't know this happened? He came in and he was like, oh my God. I'll let him tell the rest. But just
wait a second, I missed it.
Yeah, you were sleeping in the den. You were sleeping in the den.
First of all, I was tired because we took a 6 a.m. flight to go hang out with him for the day. I was tired.
May have not gotten some love from Mikey. Having said all of that, shout out and kudos to you, Channing. He's on vacation. Remember to drop us a rating and a review on your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Apple, and obviously go hit the subscribe button on the YouTube page. Perk is still doing his thing, dropping knowledge. He's over here wanting to do 2 a week, so stand by for that. Before we get into
Perk, bro. Our casa. It's called mi casa, as su casa, as you casa, as our casa. I don't even know if that's Spanish. But I'm saying, bro, let's get it, man. This is what we doing. I built this up there, and there's a whole other thing.
You look like you're in a temple.
Well, I if they want to refer to me in that sort of deity way, then that's on them, right? I'm just here to spit knowledge about basketball and stupid jokes. That's it.
And as the voice of basketball, I'm so happy that you upgraded. It fits you. As the voice of basketball, that setting, it fits you. So
don't start doing that. Don't Perk. Mike Breen is the voice of basketball.
So what are you?
I am the person next to him that tries not to annoy him. That does a terrible job. Don't do a terrible job.
We should get Mike on here and see if you do annoy him and to what degree.
Oh my God, Mike, he would love to have a sit down. Mike, we would love to have you. I think the Road Tripping family would love nothing more than to have you.
Enter at your own risk, my friend. But yeah, we would. I echo that. All right, we're going to dive into what's going on in the NBA at the end of July. I know there's plenty, but I do want to just start with what's been in the news this week, excuse me. And then we'll kind of trickle from there. Shaq versus Gobert.
What happened?
Do you guys want to hear the clip?
I know nothing. This is dad duty and camp week. I haven't turned on ESPN.
I hate Rudy Gobert.
Why don't you like Rudy?
Because that motherfucker making $250. You don't deserve it, dog. As the president of the Big Man Lions, you making big money. Play like a big man. Right. That's it. Play like a big man. Throw some bowls, knock some people out. Don't be letting little white dudes from Denver dunk on you and talk to you. Then you got to grab them by the neck at the last second. Come on, bro. That's it. If you're going to get paid big money, play big.
I just want Shaq to still be on TV when Rudy gets into the Hall of Fame because it's going to.
If Rudy Gobert gets into the Hall of Fame,
into the Hall of Fame.
If Rudy Gobert gets to the Hall of Fame, I'll wear this dress to the motherfucking ceremony.
Yo, Shaq's gonna wear a dress to a ceremony. That is awesome, Shaq.
That's all you got from that video, bro.
That's all. First of all, that's all I got because Rudy Gobert is going to be a Hall of Famer. It is a 99.8% chance he is going to be a Hall of Famer based off of his defensive player of the years. Like, there are people with less that have gotten in. He is going to get in. And when you look at his contributions internationally, that also go into that. You know what I'm saying? Winning a silver medal for France. Like, these are things that go on top of your resume that people don't. He's 100%. So Shaq, congratulations. You 1,000% will be wearing a dress. And I hope that you're not one of those that talk big and then all of a sudden don't fulfill that promise, because he will make the Hall of Fame.
It seemed like every single time it's always an old head bringing up with this new generation is getting paid. Why? Right? Like, yeah, Rudy Gobert, he make $250 million. We just addressed Kenyon Martin and Gilbert Arenas talking about Chet Holmgren getting $250 million. Like, let them guys get paid. Right? Like, Shaq, you, in my eyes, Shaquille O'Neal is the most dominant player to ever play the game of basketball. Right? Some may argue, but as far as pure dominance, that's who he is. Rudy is not you, bro. And that's okay. Like, you can't expect Rudy to go out there and put up 24 and 20. That's not who he is. He is a 4-time defensive player of the year, right? And when you look at the numbers, when Rudy is on the floor, he has that type of impact. Like, he has that type of impact. Has he won a championship yet? No. Has he been able to lead a team like Ben Wallace was anchoring the defense? He hasn't. I'm just getting tired of every single time. And look, I'm very critical of players in the way that they perform, right? And like critiquing their game if they're not getting the shit done. But I never, ever fucking count somebody else's pockets or tell the world what another player or these players shouldn't be getting, right? Like, it's a job first. You want those guys to max out. I always tell guys when I see them, these players that are playing today, make sure you get your fucking lettuce. Get your lettuce.
And Perk, I can't speak out of context. I can't speak out of context without actually seeing the clips, but I will say this. Whenever a person from a prior generation complains about the money that the next generation's getting, it's so misguided and it's so out of place. So I can't say specifically, but to reference money, Shaq is one of those players that he's always going to be looked upon with respect. But what did he make triple in his career earnings than Michael Jordan? He made triple. Shaquille O'Neal made triple because the work that Michael Jordan put in, right? And Michael Jordan's like, look, I won 6 championships. I won 5 MVPs. And this dude, he made triple the money. Yeah, he was good, but you can't look at it like that, right? Because you made triple. I made more in career earnings than Michael Jordan. And I'm a bum compared to all of them, right? But the money went up, the numbers went up, and then our job was to keep putting in the work so that the next generation, like, I'm not going to call any of the younger generation our kids, but just in life, your goal is to create a better life for your kids than you had. And this is the idea. Our job is to create a better life for the next generation than we had. So this is a look of success. To me, we should be proud that the numbers are this high, that the ratings are this high, that the interest is this high, that the value of the game that a lot of us put a decade worth of building towards. Why would we not be excited for these young men to get this money? I remember looking at A-Rod when he signed the $250 million for 10 years back in the early 2000s. Every NBA player was jealous. Like, man, we might have played the wrong sport. Man, God, can you imagine that?
Right.
Now those numbers are real and we want to hate on it. No. All these people hating. We was all in the same locker room when A-Rod signed that deal.
Is it just jealousy?
I think it's misguided chirping. Because by nature, we all talk a lot of trash and shit. So, like, if you want to do it and break it down and say, well, hey, he's making all this money. It's like, no, now you sound like a fan. Now you sound like a fan.
On the flip side of things, I will say this. former players, right? They paved the way and made sure that they carried the torch in the right way, right? Like you look at Magic and Bird, they passed the torch to Jordan, right? And then Jordan passed the torch to Kobe and KG and Tim Duncan and Shaq. And Shaq and them did their job by passing the torch. And when I say passing the torch, like we never had to worry about guys fucking sitting out games, right? We never had to worry about guys like playing 65 games a season and delivering in great fashion and competing at a high level. So when you see these holdouts, you see guys sitting out on the road, these superstars, which, you know, how it started, we don't even have to dive into that. All I'm saying is don't fuck it up for the next generation, right? That's been my biggest gripe, you know, when it comes down to certain guys requesting to be traded, right, and holding out. It's not the fact that they don't. I'm not mad that they don't want to be in that organization or they want to go play somewhere else. It's how you do the shit. And then all of a sudden, we come on Road Trippin, and Richard is complaining about the fucking CBA, right? Rightfully so. You made a great point. Wasn't you complaining about the CBA?
Yeah, I complain about everything though.
No, I know, but what I'm saying, Rich and Allie, is this: the players got it to that point. What I'm saying is, don't fuck it up for the next generation.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
That's one thing you want to be upset about this generation. Be upset about that CBA. Be upset about that CBA. They should have got $1 million. They should have got $1 million to do the in-season tournament. That should have been it. That was the talk. They should have held lines, in my opinion, right? Then the in-season tournament was sold for hundreds of millions of dollars to Amazon, right? That's why it was such a big production. That big production of the in-season tournament, like the different courts, the specific days, all of that was to package a product to sell it. And they sold it. Amazon bid on it, and they had to pay billions of dollars for certain rights and things within those rights. And like I'm not saying any inside news. This is just how the markets work. Like NBC got the All-Star Weekend. ESPN kept the NBA Finals. They were divvying up the different productions. That's just how sports rights work. That's how you can have multiple networks. That's why Turner had to get out, because of what those other two were willing to offer. So I'm not saying anything over the top, but yeah, the CBA was not great. You want to be mad about the generation, the CBA, but hopefully next time it come around. But the owners are making they're making so much more money now. If the players are making this, understand we are splitting 50-50 with the owners. The owners are the ones, the NBA gets their money off the top for production and infrastructure, and then the basketball split between the players and owners. So when you see these numbers going up for the players, they're going up for the owners too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, to put a bow on this, to take it one step further, if it wouldn't be just about the money, defensive impact versus offensive dominance. What matters most?
Oh no, Shaq's defense. People don't. We're not going. Shaquille, I got your back. We're not going to disrespect his defense. He was
No. This is about the conversation of this isn't.
No, I'm just saying he was a better defensive player than Rudy was offensive player. Like if we're just talking about Rudy being great defensively and defensive player of the years and stuff. That's all. I'm sorry.
But Rudy is who he is, right? If Ben Wallace got into the Hall of Fame, Rudy is getting into the Hall of Fame. Now, I know Ben Wallace has a ring, but, I mean, if you matching them up side by side, when we talking about accolades, both are, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. That's a huge fucking impact. Rudy just got to get over that hump. But, again, people don't value what Rudy brings to the table because – they don't see how much ground he covers or how many drives he stopped without having to fucking, block a shot or whatever the case may be. The point is the man has been more than a star in his role, found his space in the NBA, and he's dominated at it. I mean, one could argue about the analytics. I'm not even going into that. The facts are the facts. The facts are the man has 4 fucking Defensive Player of the Year. That's who he is.
He was a part, and this is what I would say. People still look at the amount of draft picks that it took to get Rudy Gobert. If you're talking about, I think it was 5 first-round picks. If you go back now and you go to Minnesota and you say, hey, it's going to take 5 first-round picks, but he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. You're going to have your 2 best seasons that you've ever had in the history of your franchise. You're going to go to 2 conference finals, and one of those years you're going to lose to the eventual champion. What the hell? Like, we act like he didn't just helm one of the 2 best defenses, that he didn't have perimeter guys that were raising their level of defense. Their entire energy for who there was as a team became a defensive first mentality because you were anchored by him. And then they have their 2 best seasons in the history of their franchise. The 2 best seasons, without doubt.
So you're saying that Rudy Gobert made Anthony Edwards, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and who else?
Jaden McDaniels.
He made them better?
I
Yes.
truly believe he made them all better defenders.
They were not
you-
defenders that they are.
No. But you allow them is like, you can be a great receiver, but if you have a great quarterback, that's a deadly combination. When you are a great perimeter defender and then you have an anchor of your defense that's won Defensive Player of the Year, you become a much better defender. I played with Dikembe, I played with Alonzo. You become a better, because now you know, one, he's like a goalie, so he's pissed off. Get in front of the man. I'm calling them, like, they're so, like, those type of defensive guys are so intense. Now it makes you raise your level up. It makes you raise your level up. Or playing with a Jason Kidd, guards that are like Rondo. Though their defensive intensity raises the people around them.
What about their impact on Rudy? And then we can wrap this up because we don't need this to become a Rudy Gobert podcast.
Right, facts. I agree. Here's the thing. To Richard's point, when you have a guy like Rudy, you know what it allows the perimeter players to do? To fucking be aggressive. Like, you could be aggressive, you could gamble at times, you could get into guys, because you know a guy that's on the perimeter with a basketball and you got Rudy just sitting in the paint like, oh, I'm waiting on you, I'm fucking waiting on you. Like, that puts doubt in the perimeter player mind. So when you have a guy like Rudy that you could send a guy to, it is so much better. Like, it's so much easier. You unlock so much on the perimeter and allow guys to do so many little things. That's why the Minnesota Timberwolves, that's why they're one of the few teams that started the picking up full court 94 feet as a team, right? You go back and you look at that Denver Nuggets series 2 years ago. They were
eating Jamal. They were eating up Jamal.
94
Fair.
feet.
I just think that we got to give the perimeter players a little bit more credit for their own personal defense.
Yes.
Not because of Rudy Gobert.
No. This is the part. I'm going to make sure I'm very clear with my statement. This is coming from playing and having Dikembe behind me. This is coming from having Alonzo Mourning and Kenyon Martin behind me, who is an elite shot blocker. When these guys have defensive intensity, I am telling you, it raises your level as a perimeter defender, because you got help, you got intensity, you got vocal, you got all the things behind you. That makes me push, and then you start to see what your capabilities are defensively. So that's where I'm not saying, like, when I say he made them better, it's a similar effect defensively that Chris Paul has when he enters a team. They win 7-8 more games. Like, defensively, you go up 2-3 notches collectively as a team with Rudy Gobert at the helm. Everyone offensively gets a little bit better when you would have Chris Paul added to the roster.
Fair. Let's stay in the West for a couple more conversations. You just mentioned Chris Paul, so we'll go there next. Chris Paul, 40 years old, just signed with the Clippers for his final season, as he mentioned. Lopez, 37, Harden, 36, Kawhi, 34, Beal, 32, average roster age of 34.8 years old. I first want to talk about CP3 and just obviously this being his final season going into it. Where do you guys rank him?
Oh, no, I think I don't have a specific rank. I think he's one of the great point guards of all time. I think there's like a couple other point guards, and then there's another class and tier below. And when I say below, I mean there's just two different tiers. So there's, in my opinion,
Ring, no ring? Is that kind of the tier that you're looking at right now?
yeah, I wouldn't say it's just ring, no ring. Like I would put him right. If you look, I would put him in the same class of point guard as a Chauncey Billups, who has won championship, right, and won a Finals MVP, right. I would put him in the same class as, and even you would say statistically, Chris Paul had a way better career. But I think in the class of, if this was your point guard, the attributes that you are getting, right, like that's you would even say Chauncey Billups, with going to 5 straight conference finals or 4 straight conference finals and 2 finals. He's had if you look at team success, and Chris Paul's always had team success, but he's had more team success. So I put him in that tier with those guys. I think it's if you're talking about modern day, it's the Magic Johnsons, there's the John Stocktons, there's the Isaiah Thomas. Some people have Steph in that point guards. Some people have him in a 2 guard. I think Steph. I think that there's that tier, and then I think that there's that next tier. Everybody can rank however they mama wants. I don't care.
You played against a prime CP3.
Yes.
Before it comes back, best to never win.
No, John Stockton. John Stockton. Let me just say this. CP, great point guard, statistically, all the things. He's still like, what, 8? I would say he's still 5-6 seasons away from John Stockton on the assist record, right? Like John Stockton, 15,000 assists. Jason Kidd was number 2.
All of them?
What? Jason Kidd was number 2. And then Chris Paul passed, so I'm a little sad about that because my point guard was number 2 all time in assist. So I'm sad now that he's number 3. But I have 2 guys in the top 5 that I was blessed to play with, LeBron and J Kidd. So I'll hold that firm. But ultimately, John Stockton's one of the greatest players ever to not win it. He's not just like best point guard. He's one of the 4 or 5 greatest players to never win a championship.
CP3 is the top 15 greatest point guard of all time. I do not have him in my top 10. I do not have him in my top 10. I don't have CP3 ranked above Russell Westbrook. Like, did CP3 do a lot of things, change the franchise, win a lot of games and things? Yes, absolutely. I would never take that away from him. Since he was drafted with the New Orleans Pelicans, he changed that franchise. They were a winning organization, right? He goes to the Clippers, winning organization. Goes to the Phoenix Suns, winning organization. But when it comes down to rankings, you got to check those boxes and you got to have those accolades. And when I say accolades, yes, championships or finals MVP, obviously, but CP3 don't have one MVP. And I'm not trying to be critical of him. I'm not trying to downplay his career. CP3, the point guard, we came out of high school together. I battled against him in the AAU tournament, in the AAU system as a youngster. Much love, much respect. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's just top 15 greatest point guards of all time in my eyes. He's not in the top 10.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to get into the rankings. I'm just going to say this. There is a class, there's a tier. You think of where Rondo might be, where Derrick Rose might be, and a lot of his career was cut short, but he has an MVP and kind of, they talk about those prime Derrick Roses, where you start to look at like a Kyrie and what he's accomplished over his career, right? So when you start to look at it, I think there's like the Mount Rushmore is what I like to say. There's the Mount Rushmores of kind of modern day, and that's Magic. I would say John Stockton. I would put Isaiah Thomas in that. And then, again, everybody can fill out the rest of their stuff. And then I think there's another tier. That's where you get into the Chauncey Billups. That's where you get into, a Kyrie. That's where you get into a Rondo. That's where you get into a Russell Westbrook. That's where you get into a Chris Paul. These guys that are like, I think all of these guys are in the exact same kind of class of like, I'm not ranking them on to fit. If you're saying top 15, that means that you're saying 8 through 8 through 14 are like in the same, I'm not saying rank, but they're in the same class. They're comparable.
No. Russell Westbrook is in that class with John Stockton,
like I
Gary
said,
Payton.
you can
Hold
fill
on,
it
hold on.
out.
Can we do this really quick? Perk, will you give me your Mount Rushmore all-time point guards?
All-time point guards. I got Steph at one. And I know some people go say Steph is not a point guard. I don't give a fuck. Damn it, on paper, he's a PG. He just that great because he changed the game forever. When you talk about a generational talent and we talk about these fucking small guards, Steph has changed the game. Like, Steph changed the game forever. I have Magic at 2. I have Isaiah Thomas at 3. I got John Stockton.
I'm
gonna go with the big O. I got Oscar.
Did you ask him for Mount Rushmore or top 5?
I asked for Mount Rushmore.
I would go Oscar Robertson at number 4. But at that number 5 spot, it's Russell Westbrook. I'm sorry. Averaging a triple-double, 4 seasons. Huh?
Listen, if you have Russell over John Stockton, right? I'm just saying people, not you. I believe that Oscar, again, I was more saying, like I said, more recent modern day. So I started around the 80s because I know Oscar is statistically based off of everything that I have read and studied, is one of the top 5 point guards. I'm not questioning that, but I was also not going to include Walt Clyde Frazier if we're talking about point guards and 2 championships and let's not the finals MVP and what he did for New York. Like Chris Paul's career is not Walt Clyde Frazier's, right? It's not like but that's what I'm saying. How far back are we going to go to if we're really talking about the greatest point guards of all time? There are guys on that list that did some things. We're not even getting into the Kuzis. We're not even getting to the Nate, the Pearl Monroes, right? So that's where it's like modern day basketball and what you would say probably from the 80s on, right? Like Chris Paul is probably, in that next tier outside of the greatest point guards of all time, which he's a part of that class.
Bring on the retirement tour because Chris Paul, this is his final season in the NBA, as he stated. With that said, I started the conversation also adding in that the average age of the Clippers roster right now is 34.8 years old. Can they make the playoffs? Yes. Yes, Richard. For those of you that are on the audio side, he just raised his hand like a proper child.
I believe that this team, I believe that this team could go Philly, right, last year, or this team could go and win a championship. That's their spectrum, where they could have injuries and and they could, right, just based off of like what we know, and we also could see this team go and win a champion. This is what I would say. Historically, when the average age of your team is closer to receiving their pension than they are being drafted, it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. They are closer to receiving. They are closer to being the age of receiving their pension than they are being drafted, and that's the average age of their team. That's a tough one.
Lawrence Frank did an interview, and he was so happy about getting Bradley Beal. He talked about Bradley Beal, could possibly, or he feel like when he's healthy, he's one of the best two-way players in the game. Almost threw up. Here's the thing. The Clippers, do they have vets? Do they have IQ? Do they have a hell of a coach? Absolutely. But the thing that you need, the most important thing that you need in today's game, because OKC, Indiana, they just displayed and set the bar, is fucking wings. You need wings. And I ain't talking about Buffalo Wild Wings. I ain't talking about from Wingstop. I'm talking about youth athleticism. You know what the Rockets did? Went loaded up They got wings. They didn't trade away none of their wings except for Dylan Brooks, but they two best defensive wings they kept. They kept Torrey Eason. They kept Amon Thompson. They just got the kid Okogie off of waivers, who's probably a fucking 12 or 13 man. You need wings in order to go and win a championship, and not just on the offensive end. You need them to defend. I'm not taking nothing away from the kid, Derrick Jones. I think he could defend his ass off at times, right? But he's not known as an elite defender. I don't know what T. Lue, and I never want to question Ty Lue, but I don't know where he's going to find minutes at for a kid like Dunn, right? Is he going to be in the starting lineup? We know Nicholas Batum at times, he can have his impact on the game, but I'm just looking at this Clippers team, and it's too many question marks. It's too many question marks. We don't know if Kawhi is going to be healthy long term. Bradley Beal hasn't played 60. He's played 60 games, 60 plus games one time in the last 5 seasons. So it's like when you look at the Clippers, I understand we could trust T. Lue to turn water into wine. He got the max out of Zubac last year. Zubac, did he win most improved? Did he win most improved last year, I believe? Zubac.
No, I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up.
No. But what I'm saying is Norman Powell, career year under Ty Lue. I believe this, though, Allie. I'm going to tell you this much. I do believe this. I believe that if Bradley Beal don't use these next 2 years with the Clippers to show the world he still got it, like, you'll be looking at that guy that's going to be, on the outside looking in when it comes to being on the NBA roster. Think about this for a second. You remember what happened with Russell Westbrook, right? You remember he was being labeled a cancer.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yep.
With the Lakers?
Yep.
He was being labeled a cancer. People was wondering, could he buy into being, into a lesser role? All of a sudden, he get this golden opportunity with the Los Angeles Clippers. And what happened? In that playoff run, PG went out. It was him and Kawhi. They were facing the Phoenix Suns, and they were looking great. One could argue that they was going to beat the Phoenix Suns if Kawhi wouldn't have got injured. Here we go again, question mark. Can Kawhi stay healthy? But what I'm saying is this is the approach that Bradley Beal has to take in these next 2 years. He has to go back and prove himself all over again that he could hoop at the elite level and still got a lot left in the tank.
Fair. I love that take, and I will always be locked in on you, Perk. To answer your question, Big Zoo was not most improved. It was Dyson Daniels. Shout out to the vacuum, to the hairdryer.
He was the runner.
NBA player himself. What?
He was runner-up. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
There you go. Moving on. What's going on with Jonathan Kuminga and the Golden State Warriors? Jonathan Kuminga refusing the Warriors' offer at this point. Golden State's the only NBA team to not have made a move yet this summer, large in part because of him, I think it's fair to say. You guys have been into long discussions. He has until, I think the offer that was made for him is like $7.9 million. Don't quote me, but it's really close to that. He has until October 1st to take the deal.
What happens if he doesn't take the deal? He just has to sit out? Is there any other I'm just asking if there's any other
wise move?
No. No. What I'm saying is that there's all of these things that happen. There's all of these things that happen within the CBA if they don't come to an agreement or something like that. So I'm just merely asking if there is a next, he would sit out this year, but then he would become.
Not in a rush to accept the Warriors' offer. I just read this story this morning. He has a standing 1 year, $7.9 million offer that the Warriors can no longer rescind. He has until October 1st to accept it. If he goes that route, he will be willingly giving up a chunk of immediate money, but returning on an expiring deal with an inherent no trade clause, giving him the highest level of long-term career control he has ever had. It's something his side is considering, sources said. This on ESPN.com from Anthony Slater.
So basically, no team wanted to bid on him
that's what I'm getting to. because you
Okay,
guys.
from a restricted free agent because they knew that the Warriors most likely would match it. I don't think there was a sign and trade situation apparently that worked for them or whatever situation that wasn't worked out. So now he's in a position where he should take the 1 year qualifying offer and then he can go be an unrestricted free agent, and then in that moment you could have multiple teams bidding on you. But where it becomes a roll of the dice is if you play, if you don't play, the Warriors are not necessarily invested in you. So it's one of those things. It's like if they're going to play somebody else that they feel is playing better, they're going to invest in that person, time, resources. They're not trying to sit here and raise your value so you can go and get 200 million. They're trying to win games and trying to build with their future. That's where that's an inherent danger.
They drafted Jonathan Kuminga with the 7th pick in 2021, a lottery pick, right? Now, I hear how, these picks are so valuable and people don't, when they trying to make trades. And well, you took the guy with the number 7 pick, I believe in the same draft that you took James Wiseman. At what point are we're going to hold the Golden State Warriors accountable? Because if you have a guy like Jonathan Kuminga, one of the most athletic guys in the NBA, I believe he's an elite talent that's going to continue to get better. How do you not embrace him and wrap your arms around this young man? This young man has showed signs and flashes every single time he was given the right opportunity. Steph went out. Jimmy was injured in the Minnesota series. The fucking guy was averaging about 23, 24 points. High percentage shooting. He's gotten better every single season, in my opinion, at different parts of his game. Do he have areas to grow when it comes down to his IQ or maybe playing winning basketball? Absolutely. All young guys have room to grow, or they all had hit some type of point where they had to improve their IQ. I feel like this is a bad look on the Golden State Warriors, in my opinion. I honestly do. I feel like this is a bad look on the Golden State Warriors. I feel like this is a bad look on Steve Kerr.
Ew.
Steve,
Would you be a player at this stage of his career, real talk with Jonathan Kuminga, that would want to, I mean, when I was reading it in this article, no longer wants to be a secondary option or a fallback plan, fearing a minimization in important moments. That versus the sacrifice of being a part of something bigger.
Well, he's already won a championship. That's one of the things of getting that ultimate reward. The sacrifices are the sacrifices in which you make a lot of times by older players because you've got the money, you've had the individual success. Now you want to put yourself in a position. Now you want to put yourself in a position to like go get paid, go get your money, go see if you can be an all-star. That's one of the positives and negatives of having success. I think you look at a guy like Jordan Poole. I think you win that championship and you feel like you're already certified. You've already got it. You know what I'm saying?
Steve Kerr, in my opinion, has a hard time of letting young guys be great, right? Like the only person that I've seen him wrap his arms around as a young guy is Podziemski, right? And Podziemski is he's going to have a long career as a role player. But when it comes down to guys elevating and you see a guy that has the potential to be a franchise guy, Steve Kerr is holding these guys back. Why? Why are you not giving?
He said though that he is the one voice that's trying to patch things together. He is the one voice trying
he fucked
to.
Him up, Allie. He trying to patch it together. He the one that decided to bench the man at the start of the postseason last year.
Wait a second.
You hold up, Richard. This is what I'm saying. We watched all the greats. And Rich, you got a chance to play for him. Did Greg Popovich have to adjust with this new era? He said it publicly, right? Just yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
He had He had to go away from how he used to coach with Tim Duncan and Mano and Tony Parker when he first got LaMarcus Aldridge, and he said, that's on me. I have to adjust my coaching style, right? We're watching Rick Carlisle, right, adjust as an older coach, a guy that's been around the block. He has adjusted his style and the way that he communicates with players and embrace players and giving guys an opportunity. All I'm saying is, you ask the peers, not just me, not the coaches, not the front offices, guys who work out with Jonathan Kuminga in the summer league, guys in the summertime, guys that got to guard this man and play against this man. Every single guy that I've spoken to that is still playing the game of basketball spoke very, very highly of Jonathan Kuminga and his ceiling, right? They was like, this guy, if they let him loose, he has all-star / all-NBA potential. Why the fuck have they not passed the keys over there? Why hasn't Draymond
Are you
Green,
ready?
Steph
Are you
Curry?
ready? Are you ready?
I'm almost through. Hold on. I'm almost through, bro. I've been cut off for a minute. Fucking internet. Listen, all I'm asking, I didn't witness. I watched it. I watched KG and Paul pass the keys to Rondo. Don't necessarily, Rondo wasn't the best player, but they like, hey, bro, we're going to let you cook. We're going to let you cook in this regular season. Why haven't the Golden State Warriors done the same for Jonathan Kuminga? That's all I'm asking.
Okay. Can I respond, Allie?
Yes. Yes, Richard, you may.
You sound like a parent. Let me finish. You sound like a parent. You sound like a parent. Everyone says my son is so good. He's done this. All the people say that he would be this if he would just let my son cook. This is what I'm saying. I think that Kuminga and the style of play that they have with Steph Curry and the way that they play, he has not had the ability to adjust or the mindset. Perk, you come up here every single day and you try and hold Steve Kerr accountable. You try and say the organization has to do this. The best parents are the ones that are saying, what can you do better? What can Kuminga do better to better assist the Hall of Famer? What can Kuminga do better consistently? Is it the reps? Is it the attitude? Is it the energy? Why has no team knowing that Golden State is where they are in the cap space? Why did no team in the entire association put in an offer? Not Charlotte, not Chicago. No team put in a restrict. How many players get restricted offers all the time? Lesser players, less accomplished players, less talented players get offers all the time, and then they aren't matched. No one wanted to go get the NBA champion 17-point a game specimen. Maybe there's some growth that he needs to, and they need to figure out a way to do it together, but maybe there's some growth on his side. Son, what can you do better? Okay, we know that's uncontrollable. Let's control the controllable. What can Kuminga do better to better fit into a system and a group of individuals and players that we've seen 75 players come through there with some sort of level of success, right? Doesn't matter if it was, Jordan Poole coming in and getting success. It doesn't matter who it is. Younger players have had success within that space. Kevon Looney had success in that space as a young player, right? Klay Thompson, when Steve took over, they were all still young players. Draymond was in his third year. I think Klay was in his third or fourth year.
Yeah, but it's different, RJ, and you know why the fuck he ain't getting no offers? Because once the gossiping starts behind the scenes, that
I don't know that.
he's
See,
in,
that's
no,
I don't
I'm
know.
just no, that's not you. This is me. This is me speaking. Once they start gossiping behind the scenes, once they start tarnishing somebody's name, once the word get out that he's not a professional or he wants to do this or Like that shit gets out, and then all of a sudden it's a turnoff. I'm gonna tell you what he does bring to the table. You know what fucking Jonathan Kuminga brings to the table for the Warriors? He's the most athletic guy on the Warriors.
He's the most athletic guy on the floor 99% of the time.
Now listen, here's the thing. When we're talking, Allie, what did I say the most important position in the NBA is? What did I say? I'm testing your listening.
Wings.
Wings.
Is that a 2 or a 3?
You need athleticism. When Jonathan Kuminga is locked in, it's guys that he could pick up 94 feet. I get it, Richard, but name me a guy that didn't go through some type of adversity or some type of deal where they had to like hold themselves accountable. We're watching Luka go through it right now. By the way, I got Luka picked to win the MVP this year, to be honest with y'all.
We will see what happens with the Warriors because they literally cannot sign anyone until this is resolved. Your hot take. Do you want to start at Perk? This is how we're ending until we get to LeBron being pregnant and delivering a baby.
Is this, look, does it have to be basketball?
No, bro, whatever you want.
So my hot take is this. We need the government, it needs to be some type of law. Listen to me. It needs to be some type of law for two things. One, if you're in a public place, any public place, restaurant, the bus, I don't give a fuck, the airplane, wherever you're at, it should be something in place where people start getting fined for having their phone on speakerphone and having a fucking full-out conversation in public. It should be a fine. It happened to me 2 or 3 times yesterday. In the airport, in a restaurant, in a shuttle bus when you land in LAX to go to the Uber, when they have to bring you in there. Why are you on your fucking... Nobody wants to hear about your baby mama drama. Nobody wants to fucking hear about what's happening. Nobody fucking cares. Put your earbuds in. You know what I'm saying? Put the phone to your fucking ear. In the same category, when I get on the plane, especially in first class, it needs to be a law or rules with this one. Once you get on the plane, you have to use your quiet voice. I'm so fucking tired of getting on the plane and they have that one fucking individual. And 9 times out of 10, it's a man. It's a man that's on the plane and he wants the fucking world to know that he is so successful. Why do you wait to get on the plane to start talking loud about your business and how your business is growing and the stock market? Nobody gives a fuck. I feel like once you get on a plane and you sit your ass in the seat, the flight attendant has 3 strikes you out as far as the people who's talking loud on the phone before the plane take off. You get 2 warnings, and if you don't tone that shit down and have some type of common courtesy, you need to be escorted off the plane. And it happens with me every single time I get on the plane. Nobody, to all the men out there, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares.
Perk, can you give us your quiet voice as a man?
I'll be like, I'm on the plane right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to hit you. I'm going to text you. Yeah, I'm going to text you. I'm going to text you. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. I'm on the plane. You shouldn't be sitting on row 1 and I'm in 5C and I can hear your fucking conversation. That's not cool.
Fair. I like that hot take.
Perk.
Rich, your last one went viral, so what do you got?
What did I say last time?
Ooh, a good one. The Olympic team.
The USA basketball. Oh, yeah. Look, man. I'm sorry. I see it. I apologize for being great. What's my hot take? What's my hot take? I don't really have one. I got one
while he thinks of it. You guys, ketchup does not belong on a fucking hot dog. Okay? Ketchup does not belong on a fucking hot dog.
I think mustard. Mustard is so powerful.
We're still recording. She said a little bit of ketchup from the cheese.
Look, mustard is so powerful. The thought of it, how do you overpower processed meat? How do you overpower a hot dog once you put mustard on it? Ketchup 100% belongs on pretty much everything. My son asked for ketchup on a $45 Wagyu steak, and I almost smacked the shit out of him. I was like, this is the one time.
Allie, I agree. Ketchup,
Thank you.
now look, if it's chili, no. I agree with Richard. If it's if it's a
What are you putting on your hot dogs? We're gonna end the episode with this. What are you putting on your fucking hot dogs?
Look, if
I'm
it's
very passionate about this.
plain, if it's just the bread and the fucking wiener, then I'm going ketchup. But if I get chili and cheese, I'm not putting ketchup on it. I think it's a, you know what I'm saying? Now,
Yeah, you give me chili, you give me cheese, you give me honestly, you give me relish, but I'll put some mustard on if it's like the second hot dog, if it's the second glizzy. Like we'll put a little mustard on it, right? You know, and so, but a little bit, just a little bit. Honey mustard, yes. Hot mustard, spicy mustard, yes. Plain yellow bus fucking number 2 pencil mustard, no.
What about mayo?
You know what? A little poutine if you're traveled, if you've got a little, you know, a little ketchup mayo mix. They like a little mayo. You should try it if you're ever in Europe. A little mayo on your. But you got to get the ketchup and mayo, not just. But in certain countries, you got to ask. I believe you got to ask for ketchup. They'll bring you like poutine or they'll bring you mayonnaise.
I'm
That's
just
a
letting
different.
you know you don't have to be in Europe to put mayo on your hot dogs. I like
No,
mayo.
no, I'm talking about mayo on your
Toast
mayo
the
on
bun.
your French fries.
Thank you.
Keep mayo, ranch dressing, all that shit away from me.
Not ranch. No. Don't disrespect. No, ranch is fine. Ranch.
Are you one that dips your French fries in it and just eats the ranch and not the French fry?
Oh, Richard?
No. I'm saying I will go ranch and ketchup and crush it. Yeah, I'll get a mix like ketchup and ranch. Ranch goes on everything. Ranch is a West Coast staple.
This is the hot take and debate everyone came here for. I know it is. So weigh in the comments and let me know that I am right and these two are not. Do you have a hot take before we end this, Rich?
Do I have a hot take? I really don't. I'm.
Wait, tomorrow, Perk. Are there going to be hot
Wait,
dogs?
is Perk? Wait. I didn't know if that was just, you see these fake websites. Did Bron really?
Oh, okay. Let's end it. Fine. Run the clip.
Curry, come quick. Our baby is being born.
LeBron, why does this baby look like James Harden? He's got a full beard already.
Okay, so much that Rich, LeBron's legal team is banning Instagram accounts spreading AI videos of him pregnant.
No, okay. There's a couple of things with it. There's a couple.
Is this like low key player harassment?
No. There's a couple things here, right? And it's probably we'll look back on it positively that Bron did this. One, is it real? Is it true that he did this? And two, I believe that it's positive because once again, we see the value in name, image, and likeness. We see the value in name, image, likeness. If people are allowed, and this is one of the issues with AI, and I don't want to go on this stupid rant, but if people are starting to see this, and it's not this stupid video, it's how many videos can be out there. If there's, this is going, and then people are seeing now, it's all of a sudden videos depicting whatever you want or saying whatever you want. You like that. I think for all human beings, that is bad. I think for all human beings, that what people are doing isn't a positive thing. And I don't think it's I'm not saying AI, if you want to depict like historical figures or this, but once you start taking it into other places, I think that's something that you have to be careful about. I don't know if this is real, if he's really sending out legal stuff. I am saying though, that I don't think that this is a great idea, right? They could do whatever they want with Perk. They could do whatever they want with my image, with your image, Allie, saying whatever, right? Like imagine, you know what I'm saying? Imagine the stupid things that go on the internet. And I just don't think that that's always going to be a safe place. Can you control it? No. Can you stop it? No. But there needs to be some sort of respectful consideration to how we're using people's images.
People are just fucking bored, bro.
People are
Like
weird,
we
man.
always
People are weird.
are weird, man. We always have this part of the summertime and the off season where there's no football and no men's, no NBA, no NFL, no NBA. Shit gets weird. People get bored, and then all of a sudden they start doing shit. And you talk about doing things for clicks. This is the prime example. And if it is true with Braun, and his team sending out those cease and desist and stopping that shit, I'm all in for it, Richard, to the point where
Yeah.
you just, like, the one thing that you have in this world besides money, you have one name. One name, bro. One name. Protect that motherfucking name. So I'm with it, man. Somebody got to set the example for a lot of this bullshit to stop. I'm not mad at it.
Well, and I look at, imagine if it's a female actress and people are saying, you know what I'm saying, and people are putting out this stuff, and it looks like them. You know what I'm saying, and AI is only going to get more realistic and more like, and so I think there needs to be a consideration for how we're using people's image and likeness. Like, yo, is it funny? Is it this? It's not the jokes. It's more of like, man, like somebody can just create this. Like in no time, in 2 seconds, you could speak into an app and it will bring up the visualization of this in a matter of minutes. Like, and if you just start having that stuff anywhere, and it's for athletes, it's for Cooper Flag, it's for female athletes and the protections of them. It's for the female athletes and the protections of them to make sure that idiots can't just be making weird videos and posting them on the internet of these people. Like, you gotta have some protection, and those conversations are coming a lot sooner than we think. Like, this is
And
just
you need to have
the beginning.
not only just protection, but you need to have consequences to shit like this. Like, you know what I mean?
Your
Like
hot take.
people, I'm not,
Fine.
yeah, fine, kicked off of social media. I'm not saying you need to get jail time, but you need to have consequences. That way people would think before they start posting shit or doing some stupid
Just
shit.
hey, just wait, and again, Perk, you and I have kids, but it's like wait till some dad's daughter and AI pictures of her are being passed around at 17, 18. Like fake AI pictures of their daughter is getting picked. She's like, Dad, I didn't ever took these pictures, but they can AI whatever they want, and then those things can start getting passed around. Now, what the hell is that? Right? It's
Right.
like, and so it's like, then all of a sudden parents are like, these are fake AI pictures of my daughter. It's like, yeah, motherfucker, what LeBron was talking about impacts all of community, all of the world. Like, I don't want this stuff out there posted. I don't know how bad and how sideways where this is going, but like, forget all this arguing over stupid stuff. This is real stuff that Americans should be united in. The world should be united in. That's my rant.
It's disgusting. It's weird. It's disturbing. Get a life. All right, we're going to wrap this up. I am going to give you a challenge, Perk, for your Unplugged on Sunday. You said that we could send you topics, and this is one that I wanted to discuss on here, but other things slid in the way, like Mark Cuban sliding into our comments saying most teams lose money in the NBA. Meanwhile, your guy, Perk, Bill Simmons, he talked with Zach Lowe this week about a $6 billion expansion fee for Vegas and Seattle and said the Pelicans could be relocated. I want you to dive more into that, if you don't mind, on Perk Unplugged this weekend. For those of you who obviously tune in and are listening, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your favorite podcast, leave us a like, a rating, and a review. We love you. Also, tap in, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Until next week or the week after, we've got a fun Gary Owen episode in the books that we are going to release very, very soon. But until then, this is another edition of Road Trippin.